Tonight on Unsolved, BC. An innocent bystander murdered, with over 20 witnesses and no leads. This is the cold case murder of Evan Garber. Born on March 16, 1947, Evan began his life in West Liberty, Ohio, later moving to Alberta, Canada in 1959. Evan graduated with honors from high school in 1965. He went on to study economics at Eastern Mennonite College in Virginia. He would also study at the University of Alberta. Evan was a brilliant-minded man, and he had a wonderful gift for writing. He was quiet and peaceful, and he lived by his beliefs and by his religion. Later in life, Evan would relocate to Vancouver, Canada, and here he would meet his unfortunate fate. Vancouver, British Columbia, April 28, 2006. Guang Chao Congee and Noodle House. Evan was a regular at this restaurant and ate here at least 3 times a week. He had a regular table and was friendly with staff and other patrons. That evening, Evan had ordered his regular, oysters and beef brisket. While he was eating his meal, a man came into the restaurant and pulled out a gun. The man reached into the register, and he was obviously disappointed with what was there. The man then began waving his gun around and demanding more money from patrons. Evan, who was sitting near the door, then stood up and yelled that the gun was fake. He then positioned himself in front of the door and got prepared to strike the robber. The robber then shot one shot towards the door, missing Evan. Evan then charged the man, and another shot was fired. This shot hit Evan directly in the chest, and he dropped to the ground. Meanwhile, another patron began to intervene and pull the robber down to the ground. As they began falling to the floor, another shot rang out, hitting the patron in the stomach. This man would survive. The robber proceeded to flee out the front door and got into what appeared to be a domestic 4-door sedan. It was dark in color. The make could have been a Chevrolet or possibly an Oldsmobile. The robber was described as a Caucasian man, 6 feet tall, with a slim to medium build and about 180 pounds. In the same time frame as this robbery, a string of robberies had taken place in the area. Most of these robberies took place after midnight, and the method of operation was near the same. A robbery almost identical took place at the landmark Hot Pot restaurant. A man entered the restaurant armed with a gun. He then robbed the register and proceeded to steal the patron's wallet. The man then fled in an older model, dark 4-door sedan. Evan was a brave man, and this was not the first time he had intervened in a crime in progress. A few years earlier, a man with a bag over his head tried to rob a store in which he was a customer. Evan proceeded to pull the bag off the man's head, exposing his face to the store's surveillance system. Because of this, officers were able to identify the suspect, and he was subsequently charged with 2 counts of robbery. Susan Garber and Marilyn Rivers Bowerman, the younger sisters of Evan Garber, made an emotional appeal for someone to come forward with information about their brother's murder. They stated the following: "He was a hero. We could expect Evan to stand up for what he believed in, and it was his belief in God and his commitment to social justice that gave him the strength to defend others. Evan stood up for others. Isn't there someone who will stand up for him?" Maybe you hold the answers to help solve this case and bring his killer to justice. Is it possible you have that one little detail that could break this case open? If you have any information regarding this case, please contact the Vancouver Police Department or call Crime Stoppers to remain anonymous. Good night, and stay safe.